there's been this lingering, sticky, can't get it off of my mind type of thought that I've been playing with pretty much all day today, and it's the Lost Drive arc. If you're watching this video at the moment, it's probably because you've had a degree of ambition, resilience, and drive for a good amount of time. You mold yourself molded yourself into a different type of individual, one who's completely different to the person that you used to be compared to the person that you are now. You had a probably a couple periods where you were so driven and so motivated to take action and try different things, to fail, to say no, to sacrifice, to be as disciplined as you could so that way you can reach a particular endeavor or something. Whether that was working two jobs, whether that was making the risk of quitting your job and just overall doing big boy shit, right? Like doing things that were aligned with the person that you wanted to become. And along the process, you either your motivation stalled, and by that I mean you seem to have hit this wall where the things that you were so accustomed to doing for a long period of time get harder. The energy that it takes for you to do something that used to be convenient to you is now far harder to do than before. The momentum is gone. The consistency is still there, but you lack the energy, the drive, and the fire that you once had in doing the things that you're accustomed to doing. And along the way, maybe you lost. Maybe you got stuck and maybe you lost something or failed that constituted you to figure out and find a new purpose and find a new life. Along the way of trying to get into new ground, you pick up familiar things that you did in the past and try to copy and paste it over to your new life. And throughout this process, you will have, yeah, throughout this process, man, it's really windy. Throughout this process of copying and pasting, figure out things that no longer work to you, things that are no longer congruent for you, because following through and persisting on something that you have no idea about the outcomes or what it is that you're even doing in order to get to a specific place is half-ass effort. You know, you get up early in the morning so you can read and write, but what are you writing for? You're not writing a book. You don't have a goal in mind. You're just doing it to write. And because of how driven you were by purpose in the past, it feels distasteful to do it without a specific purpose in mind, without a specific end goal in mind. And along the way, maybe you string along a couple weeks where you're consistent and you're disciplined and you feel good about yourself, but inevitably you break the headlights of the path that you had been taking. You can start a podcast and do it for a few months, but then over a specific course of time, you stop getting guests, you stop uploading onto YouTube, you stop writing about the new ideas that you've been taking. You had created a weekly spreadsheet, a calendar of content goals that you had in mind, but you didn't persist in them. You didn't continue doing them. And because you didn't persist, it dampened you of a lot of your energy, a lot of your resources, because in a sense, you were no longer hypertrophying that muscle of discipline, self drive, and confidence. And yeah, confidence. Because the more you stop working on a muscle, well, the weaker that it gets, correct? And that's essentially what had been happening, right? That's essentially what caused you to spiral down into the setting that you're in, where you're out of drive. And fuck, it's tough, dude, because you have a lot of evidence of the capacity of work that you're capable of. You have a high degree of competence because the things that you did in the past molded you into the type of individual that is capable of a lot of different things. And even if you, let's say you put in 70, 80% of your capacity to work, to go into a job or to go into a business or to start a book club or start a run club, whatever it is, you put 70 to 80% of your total capacity, leaving out 20%, that is still far better than most of what the individuals out here are doing. Okay? So it's not like a lack of competence. It's not that you're no good. It's not that you're bad. It's not that you're not skilled or high value or high worthy, but it's the confidence that is no longer there because, well, I think self drive and the lost drive has to do with the lack of confidence in oneself, the lack of pride for doing the things that you thought you were going to do, not following through on the quiet whispers with loud actions. And I think that's one of the big ones. Overall, I think it's a series of events of no longer persisting, and if you do persist, the goal isn't meaningful enough, or you're too scared to break through that barrier, so you decide to break your own headlights. And now that you've broken your headlights, you're forced to stop on the path to where you originally wanted to go and fix and repair yourself. And that can look like going to therapy. That can look like asking too many individuals for life advice, even though they don't necessarily pertain to the type of life that you want. So there's no reason for you to be asking for life advice from them. You know, that's kind of the thing. If you ask for life advice, you better be sure that that you better be sure that it's someone's life that you admire and aspire to get to. Because if you're getting life advice from individuals who you don't want to be like, then there's no reason to follow through, take the advice, or even ask for it. Because you'll be surprised at how much you already know what to do. It's weird. The oh, I love this. I love this. I love doing this out here. Dogs here, dad over there. It's just great. It's awesome. Um, yeah, man. It's probably the toughest arc I've had. And like I don't even like expressing the fact that I am I could talk about this stuff all day. I could talk about the shit I fucked up in because I don't care, right? It's all in the past. Past is gone. We only have now. But what I don't like doing is it feels as if I'm breaking a universal code or providing my body a sense of accomplishment by talking about the things that I'm doing, and therefore I don't persist in the thing that I've done. Like I've done that in the past where I'll talk about a great idea that I have. Oh, this short film, it's called The Dangers of Ambition. You know, it's going to be about this, a specific moment that I had in my life where this individual, blah, blah, blah. And oh, I'm going to shoot it this way. I already shot the first scene in front of fitness. Like I've done that. And then I just didn't finish it because when we talk about our actions and our plans, our ideas for what we are bound and want to do within that moment, think about it. As soon as we get an idea, the first thing we want to do is talk about it, right? Because when we talk about it, we get this degree of satisfaction and we get a sense of dopamine because we're triggering something inside of our brain that causes us to feel uplifted and accomplished for talking about it so well. But in the detail we describe it to the other individual, it's already like at its peak, right? Like we think about the end in mind, like in our head. We think about how it's gonna look inside of our head and how great it's gonna be and what emotion it's gonna evoke and how people are gonna feel about it. And I'm gonna, like it's gonna be great. But because we do that, we don't follow through on the idea itself because we have already garnered ourselves a feeling of accomplishment of the idea, right? So because we have already felt what it would be like to create it and how we described it to the other person, well, fuck. Now I gotta make this? Like I gotta create this now? Like, no, you're not gonna partake in that action. So that's why I get scared talking about it right now. Because I'm only like 9 days in, right? I'm 9 days in, but it feels just like how it felt at a certain point in my life. So I was building a business for 18 months, 18 total months. And I want to say, I'm not sure if I'm breaking universal code or universal law right now by saying that I think I've gotten past it, because I think it's been the most, uh, it's been the most tame drive that I've had in a minute, where things aren't loud up here. Everything is just baseline. I tend to be an individual who shoots up, spikes up 10 feet high. I'm at a 10 emotionally. Everything is vibrant, beautiful. I'm feeling euphoric and joyous and calm and peaceful. And then I steep down to like a 1 and 2 where everything is gray and hollow. And I feel numb about every single thing, the environments, the people, myself. I hate myself in the mirror, to just shoot myself up to 10 again, where, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I'm incredible. But for the first time in a long time, very long time, I seem to be at an even baseline, consistent with the actions that I take, consistent with the emotions that I feel. Granted, it's not up and down anymore. It's just like 4 to 8. I'm in that 4 to 8 threshold where things are just meh, or things are like solid. I'm good. I'm okay. And because of that, there seems to be this overarching sense to get back on my shit, to get back up off of my feet, and to really see the end goal in mind. Like, what is it that I want to accumulate? What is it that I want to become? Who is the man that I want to be remembered for? When somebody says the name George Hernandez, what is the first thing that comes to mind? What did I do? What did I contribute? How did I help? And what kind of family did I build? What kind of empire did I build? What did I give back in return? And that's kind of been it, right? But with this whole lost drive thing, you still have that. You still have this need in a way where you want to just put a dent into the world, where you want to put everything on the top of your shoulders and be the one that carries it. You want to accumulate and provide and contribute, give back, be as selfless as you can possibly be. You want to be quote unquote great. You want to just lead by example, and you want to be a quality, ambitious, sincere, and virtuous kind of man. Someone who has it all but refuses to, somebody who has it all but refuses to let all get to him. Kind of like Marcus Aurelius, right? He has everything, but he doesn't let everything come to him. He just kind of picks and chooses what he wants. So you still have that sense of like drive, this sense of urgency, and this means to accomplish. But what's gone is the inner fire. What's gone is the consistency or the discipline to get up out of your room and to write for 10 minutes, to get out of your room and go for a walk, or to grab your microphone and grab your camera and just take it outside into nature. Like you have it. You have the fucking sense and urgency to go out and make a dent in the world, which, if you already have that, you're fine. Like you're good. So the period that you're isolated in, where you don't seem to have self-drive, understand it's not going to be like this forever. Because there will come a day where everything that you once had, there's no other choice but to do the thing that you wanted to do. And so, like, it's fine. It's okay to be in this state. And I remember going into ChatGPT every hour, every day, anytime I was outside taking a walk at work, I would pull out ChatGPT and just talk to it for 15 minutes. And then it would tell me exactly what was going on. It would tell me the descriptions of what I was feeling in the exact way I was thinking about. I would then set up ChatGPT so it can give me a guideline for the things that I could do and needed to do to get myself back to where I seem to be at right now. And it never worked, right? Like ChatGPT will give you the guides, the tips, the tricks, and the hacks. And it's good, solid foundational advice, things that are fundamental and things that are simple and capable of bringing you back. But we're not fucking robots, right? I don't want to set a day on Monday where, even though this is kind of what I'm doing now, but like at that point, I don't want tips, tricks, and hacks. You just want to be validated for how you feel. But I think the thing that was holding me most back, I know this is kind of going all over the place, but I think the thing that was holding me most back was that I heard Hermosi say it, and it's no, I don't want to say that. That's not even a line. Something that hmm, Loki lost my train. Maybe I should have just said the quote. So Hormozy, right? I mean, Hormozy said, "Winners don't talk about. No, winners just keep going. Winners just keep working. Losers are the ones that are victims to what happened to them. They describe precisely what happened to them." And I think that was the kind of mentality that I glued myself to, where like I did a lot of work, but afterwards I was just talking about what happened and why I failed. And it wasn't so much that I was a perhaps I was a victim. Perhaps I was being a victim to the things that happened to me. Because in a way I was just kind of not validated by the world in the way that I wanted to be. Like here I was waking up at 2:45 a.m. to go to the gym at 4, to go to work right after the gym at 5:30, to go to work right after my full-time job, to then after my second job go home and work on my business, and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's almost as if I felt as if I deserved it because of how much work I put in, and because of how lonely and isolated and self ostracized I was, and how unvalidated by the world that I was. I think that in a way fucked with my head because it caused me to need validation in order to proceed. And I think once I lost my drive for a minute, I was seeking validation from the world. Like, okay, I'll bestow myself on what is it that the world can give me. And once you kind of get sick of validation from the world and proceed to give yourself validation, because if we really think about it, would you rather be liked by 100 different people and hate yourself? Or would you rather love yourself with every fragment, crevice, and limb in your body and be hated by 100 people? I think the happy man is the one that loves himself endearingly with every limb and every crevice of his body, rather than being liked by other people and hating himself. And I think that's where the lost drive comes from. It's a lack of self esteem. It's a lack of confidence because you no longer follow through on the things that you said you were going to follow through in. It's needing validation from others, not from yourself. It's another thing doing things that aren't aligned with the character you've now grown into. You can start something and stay consistent in it, but then eventually you'll break your headlights. But it's not because you're indifferent, it's not that you're bad, it's not that you're inconsistent or undisciplined. The way I like to think about it is perhaps it's breaking your headlights because the path you're headed towards is not congruent with the man that you are right now, with the woman that you are right now. And instead of it harming you, it's actually protecting you. So all of the coasts that you decide to take, all the side quests that you wanted to be involved in, but you break your headlights, perhaps that's protection, not being held back by yourself. And along the way, you're going to notice the character that you grow and mold yourself into is that there are less constraints. Everything else that you want and need to do is clear. And yeah, those two things. Everything is clear and there's less constraints, right? There's less constraints for what you want to do and how you want to do it. Clear as in you know exactly what your fundamentals are. You know the sources that give you motivation or give you inspiration, or you know what actions that you partake in. You know you go to the gym. You know you go for runs. You know you eat healthy. You know you eat these foods. You know you hang out with these kind of people. You know that you come outside into nature and feel good about yourself, because instead of feeling peace and giving back to yourself, it's not by staying inside and watching a movie. It's actually by coming out into nature. Like, you learn so much about yourself, dude. You learn about your ticks, you learn about your triggers, you learn about the things that you say to yourself, you learn your characteristics, you learn your habits, you learn what actually drives you, and like how much focus that you have. And yeah, I think Lost Drive arc is super painful because this is where the comparison starts to come in, where you're here now and you're not near the type of capacity of work that your previous self once had and once glued himself to. So you kind of compare and contrast the differences. Well, fuck. How is it that George woke up at 2:45 a.m. to hit the gym, work 16-hour days, 7 days a week, 3 months without stopping? How the fuck can't I wake up at 7 a.m. and write for 10 minutes? Like, you begin to compare yourself to your previous self compared to the version that you are now. And that's valid, right? That's completely valid. I get that. I do it from time to time. But I think there comes a point where the comparison that you have is a night and day difference. Yes, George in the past worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week, 3 months straight. And this guy, well, he seems to be happier, right? His environment isn't killing him. He seems to have a regularly balanced life where he has friends. He gets to go out and hang out with them. Like, there are things that seem like a shadow to you now, right? Like, yeah, there are things that you have now, actions, habits, environments that seem like a shadow of your current self, but were actually meant to be daylight for your previous self, because my previous self did not have friends. My previous self didn't allow myself to go out and enjoy the splendor of nature, or go out and hang out with a friend that I wanted to see. My previous self wasn't allowed to do certain things because I put on these like rules and these expectations of what I wanted and needed to do. So the the liberty that you have now, don't take that for granted, because your previous self longed and sought and craved that type of connection and humanity. But still want to make a dent in the world. You still want to provide and contribute and give to the world. You still want to do all of these incredible things that are congruent and natural and helpful to the world and the peers and your friends all around you. So what do you do? Well, there is no specific advice that I have for you. right now, me right now, I cannot motivate you to take the action. Even you watching this probably isn't going to help. Maybe it's going to make you feel validated. Maybe it's going to make you feel heard and seen and understood. That's cool. But watching this right now, you're not going to get the drive just solely from this. And if you do, leave a comment because that'd be awesome. I don't know, man. The way I see it is like everyone has their own way of doing it. You can go onto Google, look up tips and tricks and hacks to get your drive back, but it's all going to feel monotonous, robotic, and just lame. Lame. It's just going to feel lame. But it's because no words of motivation, no words of insight, no sentence from a book, no movie, nothing is going to spring you to go back to the version that you once were. Okay? It's all you. Like, it's only you and it's only your way. Like, you are the only one that knows your way. It's low key sprinkling right now. It's beautiful. Dude, I wish everyone could be here. Man. It's so beautiful. It's low key starting to sprinkle too. I wrote this to myself today. Uh, Only you can build yourself back up. And nobody can fuel the road for you. Yeah, and nobody can fuel the road for you for the one you desperately desire to get to. All it takes is for you to unwind the vehicle and piece it all back together, not forgetting the gas or breaking your headlights. It's all you, just you, only you. It's only you, man. The way that you get back is the way that you get back. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. But I hope you take this moment to. The thing that will help is just giving yourself the confidence. And the only way to garner confidence is by giving yourself evidence. And I know you've heard this from all your favorite Hormozis and the Chris Williamsons and the Navals or whatever, but it is evidence. But it's not, it's more than just evidence. It's listening to the intuitive whispers that are coming to you and following through with them with loud actions. And bonus points if you somehow find yourself in a wedge where the life that you're living now isn't what you want. But if you look at your life right now and it's zoomed out and the bar is all the way out and there's like a quiet gap, the life that you're living right now is amazing. But there's a slight sliver. If you zoom out, it looks tiny. Doesn't make much a difference. But if you zoom in, you're going to realize just how far and unaligned it is. And if you can notice that gap, if you can be aware of that, if you can be aware of that gap, that it's not close to where you want it to be, well, then you have no other choice but to do what it is to bring that bar all the way back to 100. So that way you can take back into your hands the kind of life that you want to live, not the one that's forced upon you because of where you're raised or where you're born or what your environment is in. So I leave you with that. Give yourself no other choice but to do the thing. And if you can find that and be aware of that, you have all the power to you because you have nothing to lose. This has been George Hernandez, the Essential Mind Podcast, whatever it is, but this was so much fun. I love you. I'll leave you. Have a great day.